Hello everyone and welcome to the Tuesday Checklist on a Wednesday, the show where we talk about our personal gaming experiences and relive our most trying moments for your entertainment. Or at least that's the theme this week, as we're looking back at the most difficult platinum trophies we have ever earned. From grueling trophy-popping runs to hard-headed stubbornness as we refuse to lose, these are the tales from our most perilous platinums. First up, it's Rob.
Okay, so I would like to preface, I don't know how to say that word.
We've done this before.
I know, it's my favourite word. I will preface this entry by saying I don't get hard platinum trophies. If a platinum trophy is hard, I just don't bother. I only get easy platinum trophies, but the least easy of all of the easy platinum trophies I've got, I think, has to be Hitman 3, just because of the just incredible adventure I went on to get that platinum trophy, which culminated in an amazing live stream where everything that could have gone wrong went wrong a few times. It was very anticlimactic when I finally got the platinum trophy because the game hadn't realised I'd done a thing. And I was like, oh, I have to reload it so it knows I've done it. And as I was reloading it, it realised, oh yeah, you did do that. And it gave me the platinum trophy on a loading screen.
You know what this means?
Anyway, that's skipping right to the end of the story. It was also, I'd say, the most fun platinum trophy I've ever got as well, because all of the requirements, basically you just have to get a high mastery level in each of the maps, and to do that you just have to do a variety of kills. Basically you have to kill your target maybe 5 or 6 times in each map in a variety of fun and hilarious ways. And it's probably the most effort I've ever put into getting a platinum trophy. I was regularly watching YouTube videos by a guy called Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze, I love your videos, you're great. He's a YouTuber who specialises in Hitman content. And so every time I wasn't playing Hitman 3, I'd be watching Mr. Freeze videos about how he'd done certain levels, and there are certain run-throughs, like one of the best ways to get experience is to do a suit only, so you can't change disguise, a silent assassin sniper kill. And if you do all 3 of those combined, you get like a really nice multiplier. And so I was just, watching all of these videos, and there's like really specific things you have to do in each map. I think in the Argentina map, which is the penultimate map of the game, and there's like a little, it's almost a cheese that you can do right at the start where you kill your target before you even get to the map. And the way you do that is you have to skip a cutscene, and she's still locked into the dialogue that she would be in the cutscene, then throw a coin on the floor so that when she enters her cutscene state, she looks at the coin and everyone else is looking the other way, and you quickly stab her with some poison. So before the level has even begun, you've like killed your first target. It took me ages to get that down. But again, it was just really, really fun. And all of the maps were like that. So you do it the basic way, which for me was often clumsily running around, and it ended in me just, spraying gunfire everywhere, running through all these levels. But by the end of it, you can, you know each level so well that you can, like a ghost, like a smart, suited, bald, murderous ghost, just slip through all these levels undetected. It was so much fun, but a lot of effort and really quite challenging, some of them, getting some of the more outlandish kills. I probably spent more hours watching Mr. Freeze videos than I have spent on actual other games before. Like it was like homework. I'd finish my game and then okay, let's settle in for a couple of hours of learning. I'm at Hitman school with Mr. Freeze. I'd be taking notes because he would tie in a bunch of achievements all together, so you'd have to plan like an optimum route through all of these levels. So, okay, I've got to kill this person in this specific way, and I've got to grab that item there, and I need to turn into this disguise there. A lot of effort, a lot of note taking, but very rewarding and a lot of fun. And anyone who's not got the Hitman 3 Platinum, I'd really recommend it because it's one of those Platinums that I think elevates the experience of playing the game. It shows you things that you would not otherwise see if you just did a basic single playthrough and didn't go back and look to master any of the levels. But yeah, quite hard. And the stream a lot of things went wrong on the stream, as Dave can attest to.
In fact, every time you stream Hitman 3, it goes horribly wrong.
Oh yeah, we had some worse times.
You shouldn't ever do it.
No, there was the time when we tried to do the special contract, and that didn't go well at all.
No.
I hadn't done my homework, you see.
No.
I hadn't watched any Mr. Freeze videos before that.
It shows.
That's like my spinach. If I'm Popeye playing Hitman 3, I'm useless until, I crack open my can of Mr. Freeze videos.
Because I watch Mr.
Freeze. I'm so good at Hitman now.
This is the hardest one for me by default because of maths. I have the fewest platinums on the team. There's very few for me to pick from. But
You've got some quite challenging ones though, Dave. Haven't you got like a Call of Duty one where you have to play it on veteran difficulty?
Yeah. Is veteran the top? Isn't there another one on top of that?
I don't know. I don't know. I've not done it.
Hardened.
And I never will.
Yes, I have got that one.
Did you do the Uncharted Crazy Platinum as well?
I
You did that on Crushing.
Yeah?
Yes, that was quite hard. I was going to make a joke about having the Donut County Platinum and that being the hardest one, which I do have, but it was very easy.
That's a great game.
And I do recommend it, yeah. But it is, of course, we've all got it. I'm sorry, everybody. If you were thinking of saying this, it's Bloodborne. I think it was particularly hard because I didn't in any way plan on getting the Platinum. So in 2015, when I finished it, I just played it through once, didn't read any guides, didn't look at the trophy list, just wasn't even interested, just thought, I'm just playing this game. I mean, it was a big enough achievement for me just to have finished it, let alone...
What times must have been like
Oh,
back
I
then.
know, imagine. And just went away and lived my life and had fond memories of Bloodborne, but no, thoughts of ever getting the Platinum. Until lockdown 2020, when Nath decided he was going to get it, and he asked me if I would help him, and therefore he would help me. Because I hadn't planned in any way, it meant I was just starting from New Game Plus, just off I went, which made things incredibly hard. I couldn't save Scum to get the endings. I couldn't go back and get any items I'd missed. I had to just do the whole thing, and the game had got harder. I'd forgotten everything. The other thing, of course, is the Chalice dungeons, which I think you're probably supposed to play as you play along with the game. I imagine they were designed to be like, to dip in a little bit as you go and sort of progress through those whilst you're also progressing through the single player campaign. I didn't do that. I played my game and then went into them, which meant that they were like so easy to begin with until they were just like so hard. Just the first few, it was just like mindless. It was just like hot knife through butter through everyone and everything. And I found them quite tedious, I'm not gonna lie. I found them, compared to the campaign, the single player experience of Bloodborne, which is just like amazing, and like the world is incredible. They're like bits of the world reconstructed into these little kind of arenas, and they're all like, they all have a boss door that you have to unlock somewhere. You have to get these particular ingredients to unlock the next one, and I found it very, very challenging. Worse than that, by the time I got to the tough ones, Nath and I had just abandoned each other. We weren't meeting up to play it ever. He'd gone ahead. I would always finish at like midnight. I'd be like, that's enough Bloodborne for me tonight. I'm going to go to bed. And he'd be like, I might just stay up and do the next one. And he'd just stay up till 3 and do, another 2 Chalice dungeons, which meant that he couldn't help me anymore. So I got to Amygdala. I found it so hard. I don't know if he wouldn't help me or he couldn't help me. He'd already done it anyway. I don't think he had any desire to go back. And also, I don't think he would have been much help, because you need people who know what they're doing with Amygdala. Like, I think we all know that he just had someone sort of naked turn up and just sort of destroy Amygdala for him.
Which could have been let me solo her. We don't know.
It could have been. It could have been. We don't know. So I didn't do Amygdala by myself. I just had to stand by the door and ring the bell by myself for a very long time until somebody came to help me. He did help me with the very last Chalice dungeon boss. To have fun with getting that Platinum, you have to plan. You have to know what's ahead. You have to read a guide, at least a bit of a guide, to understand, like, don't miss this, do that, make a save here, anything, some tips. And I didn't do that, which meant I just had the very kind of basic and painful experience of doing New Game Plus and mopping up all the little bits that I could have made my life so much easier if I'd just done them the first time. And so I found that incredibly difficult. And now, if I'm going to play a difficult game, I always think about looking at the trophies first, because I have 10 platinums now, guys. Pretty big deal. It's not like, at the time of playing Bloodborne I had 0 and I had no plans to ever get a platinum. Now I'm like, well, it could happen. It could happen occasionally. So depending on the game I might look at the trophies beforehand. But then something like Elden Ring, which I'd love to have the platinum, congratulations Rosie.
Thank you.
But I'm not going to look at the trophy list or any guides or anything, so I feel like it's never going to happen. Yeah, because by the time I finish it, if I ever finish it, I don't see me going back. So yes, Bloodborne. It was also loads of fun, I should say, but it was my hardest one.
Now, I'm not averse to getting an easy platinum. There's no secret about that. I have many platinums that are just finish the game, get to the end of it, maybe I got a collectible along the way, but the prize is, you finished, hooray, have a platinum, woo, like make it rain. So the 25 I have are not that hard. I see Rosie smiling like,
Where'd you find these games?
Enjoyed your story.
I don't have any games like this.
well, there's loads of horror games that are like that, Dave, I will say.
Say no more.
I think the actual hardest one I got would be Bloodborne. A lot of it kind of mirrored Rob's experience. Not the being stuck with the machine gun man, but I started playing when Rob went back to it, so I went through it that way. So I was kind of thinking about the ones that I spent the most time on or had like a difficult moment with, and I came to Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, which is a VR game.
Oh my god, I can't believe you've got the platinum for this.
I got the platinum for that, and I really enjoyed getting it. I really enjoyed it. This is one that made you play at Halloween, Dave.
Oh my god, that was so horrible.
I didn't play it in VR though, I did it in flat mode. So already I've taken the hardness out of it, because I was like, I'll just play it in flat mode. It's just a collection of mini games for Five Nights at Freddy's, so it's got the games, the first 4 like nights games, as well as then dark rooms and some like machine repairs. So you do all of the mini games, you unlock them as you go, and you get to the end and get the Exotic Butters trophy for getting to the end of the game. And to get there, I was 1 level off. The level before, it's in nightmare mode, so you have normal mode and nightmare mode. It was Plush Baby. This was the mini game I was doing to unlock the final level where I'd finish it and get my trophy and get my goodies. So Plush Baby is really difficult. Your face, Dave, is just like, to do an impression, it's like,
just bad memories.
But Plush Baby is a plush that's like a little girl. It's got ginger hair and a little dress, and there's 3 of them, and they have different eyes and coloured dresses, so you can tell the difference between the 3. And you're in the back of a storeroom, and there's the 3 plush babies, as well as loads of other stuff in there. And it's a dark room level, so you have to use your torch to shine on the plush babies to make them go away. And it's like a couple of minutes long, and then you win at the end if you do it. And it's so hard. It is so hard. Everything else in Help Wanted, I breezed through. The jump scares, I was like, ooh, that's a bit spooky. Like all of the little bits and pieces I did, doing the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, I was like, I've trained for this. I've trained for years to just be able to breeze through on this. That was fine, absolutely went through all of that, and then got to Plush Babies level, and there's the normal mode, did that. Hard mode, it's super fast, and your torch runs out of battery as well. So they come at you throughout the level, they kind of crawl along the shelves, they go across the floor, they're on the side, and you have to find them in the dark. So you're swishing around with your torch, so you can't use that much because otherwise you're going to run out of battery. Trying to find the locations they would be at and like shine a bit of light on them, shine a bit of light on them, shine a bit of light on them. And if you don't shine the light on them long enough, then they jump at the screen and get you. And I got so many times by the Plush Babies. Like the jump scares really got me because I'd think, oh, I've got rid of that one, zap, and then it would come out and be like, ah! In the screen. Because you've seen this, they don't just come out in this game and go boo. It's like they get right in your face and scream and shake. So I kept getting Plush Babies in the face whilst I was doing this, and it was difficult. It was difficult. It took me days of like working just like this one mini game, this one couple of minutes, if that, mini game over and over and over and over again. And when I did it right, and I finished the game because I did the next level, which is like going through all the different pizza party stuff, which is really cool. It like builds upon all the game and makes it all into one thing. I did all that and was like, platinum time, and it didn't pop, and I was like, what have I missed? There's another like trophy in there where you have to eat all of the things in the game that's possible to eat, which includes a lot of stuff. So every time you win one of these mini games, you get a prize that you unlock, and it's like it might be a toy or something you can eat, or like a collectible, it's something like that. But you just get a little present with a little freaky thing in it. And I had to just do the same level over and over again. It was tuning Bonnie is what it was, tuning Bonnie's guitar over and over again to get like a prize at the end of it because it's randomly generated to try and like consume it. So I was like chewing on all of these action figures and chewing on everything, being like, what have I not eaten? And it took so long. I really enjoyed getting it and I really enjoyed the game. It's like that really nice level between actually quite scary but very goofy and funny as well. And then the story's kind of woven in there where you don't expect it. Like it just seems like a load of mini games, but there is a story there. I got the tapes really late, like I hadn't collected them the whole way through, and I got the tapes at the very last moment. And when you get the tapes throughout the game, it brings a spirit closer and closer and closer as you play. So if you get them all at once, it just appears out of nowhere. So I was playing, got all of my tapes, went back to the main menu, like doo-doo-doo, got all of my collectibles, turned to the side, and there's this ghostly rabbit like in your face. Dave, you'd have hated it. It was horrible.
gosh.
It was really scary. But no, it was great, it was good, but it was hard. It took a lot of effort and practice with a torch to get those plush babies, and then a lot of eating things that are not edible to try and get that trophy. But I did it, and I got it, and it's great. And I hope we do this again, because one day the entry will be Hollow Knight, and I'll be sat here telling you about the Pantheons, and that'll be that. And I've got to say it, because it's going to happen.
We still not got it.
No. No, Rob. It's going to get there, though. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
Right, what has been my hardest platinum? This, the thing is, I'm working towards a lot of platinums at the moment. So for example, I'm currently working through the Cuphead one, so I'm sure if I had that one, I'd be like, oh, it could be Cuphead. Or Crash Bandicoot 4, I'm like, oh. If I had that one, that would definitely be the hardest, because already it's probably the hardest bunch of challenges I've done. But I don't have those platinums yet. However, a platinum I do have is, well, really I've got 3, is from the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy. Now, it was a case of, oh, out of the 3 of them, which one was the hardest? And it wasn't Crash Bandicoot Warped. It wasn't Crash Bandicoot, as in the first one, but it was Crash Bandicoot Cortex Strikes Back, which is the second one. And the reason I decided that this one was probably the hardest for me was because just the time trials. The time trials were so tight in Crash Bandicoot 2. Like, with Crash Bandicoot Warped, it was a case of, the time trials were already put into the original game, so, they incorporated it, they considered it when they were doing the times, and they considered it for Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2 as well. But I feel that, at least personally, I was just like, I wonder if with Crash Bandicoot 1, they gave the timing a bit more space because they knew Crash Bandicoot 1 was harder than 2 and 3. Because when I did Crash Bandicoot 1 last, because I thought that one was going to be the toughest. I know it was the toughest out of the original trilogy, but when I was getting the time trials for them, I actually got them a lot less, or a lot more a lot less stressfully than I did Crash Bandicoot 2. And there were just so many levels in Crash Bandicoot Cortex Strikes Back where, you have to get the gold relic or higher, you have to literally do everything perfectly. There's one stage specifically where, I can't remember what it's called right now, but you're in the sewage and there's you have to do everything so precisely, and there's a moment where you're hanging when Crash is on his little bars and he's climbing around, and you've got these little metal rats which are patrolling, and if you don't get that as pristine as possible, you are not getting the gold. This isn't even for the gold, not even for the platinum time, it's just for the gold. And I just was screaming at so many of the stages I thought I knew really well. No, the gold time is just they were just like, no, you need to get a bit more, and it was it's just the there's just the time trial, there's the thin line. There were just so many times where the time to get the gold was just so pristine. It stressed me out so much so that my rule was, when I was doing the time trials, I was like, okay, if I get 2, that's it. I'm moving on to it. I'm doing something else with my day, because if I did any more than that, I would get too stressed and too crossed, and I might, potentially be like, for the rest of my day. And that's not a nice way to spend your day. So, I just have so many memories of just, even if I just got 1, sometimes depending on the level, that'd be enough. But I just had many evenings of singing to the Crash Bandicoot music. I've already mentioned I did it for Polar stages, getting the time trials for those, which is because I love Polar. And again, that's why I was like, I know these levels so well, but the timing was so a carrot slice. It was a little slither of so pristine, so nice and packed and tidy.
And delicious.
So that's probably been the hardest one I've done. I've loved every moment of I mean, I said I've been having this stressful time. I loved every moment of getting the Insane Trilogy Platinums, and I'm thrilled that I've got them, but out of the trilogy, I'd probably say, yeah, the second one was the hardest, and probably the hardest Platinum trophy I have so far. I'm piercing the head, man.
That's right.
Ugh, 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 ugh.
What's the line about spinach? Because I
Strong
eat my
to the
spinach.
finish, because I eat me spinach.
That's right. I don't know how you'd make that rhyme with Mr. Freeze.
What was it?
I just
Playing
like
Hitman's a breeze when I've watched some Mr. Freeze. I'm piercing the Hitman.
Ugh, 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 ugh.
Ugh, 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 ugh. That's right.
Well, let me tell you, that's about all I can stands of that nonsense, and I can stands no more. What's the hardest platinum trophy you have ever earned? Let us know in the comments below. This has been PlayStation Access. Don't forget to subscribe for more PlayStation goodness, and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.
PlayStation